Well, veteran-owned and on a mission to grow the community over the perfect plate of barbecue.
Yes, Charlie and Derry of Single Tree BBQ share similar qualities as us, local on 2, telling community stories on their podcast and hosting some really fun events that you are invited to. Welcome in, guys.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
We have to start with this spread because, Charlie, you have outdone yourself. What are we looking at?
So we got our half chickens and some spare ribs. And then I brought some brisket for you as well, because that's the star of the show.
It really is.
Yeah.
If you guys could smell this as he's going to cut it open, I know it's just going to be so juicy. Laura mentioned off the top that you guys, look at that.
Oh,
just
yeah.
look at that.
How long does it take to make that?
This is 10 to 12 hours most of the time. So it's fairly tasty, but we use a prime brisket. So it's one of the highest quality pieces of meat you can get.
It's just...
And then we cook it for 10 to 12 hours. And then cut it up into slices, and then we throw that on a bun for you.
Beautiful.
So you can have a beautiful sandwich.
And I'll just let you guys know I didn't eat all day. I've been waiting on this.
Look,
I'm
this is-
so excited.
This is just for you. That's why you stood on the right of it.
That's right. I'll take this spot.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Laura mentioned off the top you guys are always getting into the community. I know you said you have a no drama, no burnouts event coming up where folks can
We
get a
do.
bite of this barbecue coming up at the end of the month. Tell us a little bit about Bikes and Barbecue.
So the Bikes and Barbecue event is just more to build community. So I find that the longer that we do our barbecue, the more people that we can reach. So we're heavily involved in the schools, we're heavily involved with veterans, just anything in general in our community. So what better thing to do than to add another group of individuals to come hang out and be able to get a little bit more involved.
Now, do you have to have a bike?
No, we are gonna have an ice cream truck and a taco truck.
Whoa.
As well, we have a limited menu for the barbecue. And then all the motorcycles, and if you have a nice car, an old truck, whatever, you can bring those as well.
Oh my God.
So-
Charlie, I swear, when you ring the bell and you tell people to come on down, you have that crowd standing there ready. But you have this really special event that's coming up that you do monthly. It's the military meetup. And I want to talk about your time in the military. Veteran meetup, excuse me. I want to talk about your time in the military, your experience, and the goal behind this monthly event.
So I was not in the Army for as long as I would have liked to have been, but I joined the military from my grandfather's experience of 28 years. And so I was a Cavalry Scout for a couple of years, got out. There's not enough people in our world that do enough for our military and our veterans, right? So when we opened our business, I wanted to do anything and everything I possibly could to help give back. Our veteran community is extremely important to me from my past, being in the Army. So every month I do a veteran meetup. We give away some chicken wings, hang out, chit chat, and just kind of get to know each other. And, just give a spot for veterans to go and hang out and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Again, out there in the community. Now, Derry, you guys host a podcast together, Single Tree Nation, always sharing those stories of the community. Is there one that's most memorable to you or stands out?
Man, there's several. I think one for me personally was we had Wade Hayes on from Toots. And just to hear his background, how he got started in Murfreesboro in the restaurant business. But then again, going and giving back. I know he hosts a auction every year around July 4th, a lot of community effort there. And just ultimately the ability to have people on and just speak about hospitality, being hospitable towards different groups, different people. I think that's one thing the bike night does for him. That's a whole different group versus the veterans. I was joking with him. I said, a bunch of bikers out there, what's that going to be? He's like, oh, we're going to have an ice cream truck. And he said, so hopefully folks bring their kids. It's going to be a family event. But ultimately, we enjoy telling the story, hearing people's backgrounds, and being able to put ourselves out there in the community and just hopefully be hospitable towards our neighbor and just create a community that cares.
Yes, undeniable hospitality.
It's undeniable.
I gotta ask you, okay, so in doing all of these events and doing all of these interviews on your podcast, how have you grown as community members?
I think it's unique. You see people out in public the first person that comes up and recognizes you, and you're like, no, it's not that kind of deal. And they're like, no, that really helped me out, or that did this. Charlie gave me a call one day, and apparently there was somebody at the parking lot asking about me. And I was like, look, I'm not at the restaurant, you know. So it's comical from that element, but you start to see community a lot differently. You start seeing ways you can help out, seeing different groups that you can reach out to. Every time Charlie comes up with a new idea for an event, I'm like, man, you are just on top of your game right now. And he does a great job with it. So he's got a fun atmosphere out there. Obviously, the food is tremendous. And it's a great environment when he puts something together. He does it really well.
That's true. What's the backstory of how the two of you first connected, and how has your relationship evolved over this podcast?
Derry and I have known each other for 30-ish years, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I moved to Nashville in 1990, and Derry and I went to middle school together. So we've known each other for quite a while.
Ran with similar crowds, kind of knew each other, you know. And growing up in life, you kind of separate different ways. Come back in town, want to go try a new restaurant. I stumble, I said, whoa, hang on. And we've been kicking the ball ever since. So it's a good time.
So sweet, and
Yes.
I love how much good you both are doing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
And thank you for the spread. Yes, y'all visit singletreebarbecue.com to learn more about their podcast and their community initiatives and get you a bite of that food.